So welcome back to DecoyNoise in another episode of Am I the Antagonist? And am I the antagonist for telling my girlfriend that her Instagram use is obnoxious and ruining our relationship? So in the crazy year that is 2020, I want to make sure you're taking at least 2 breaks a day by subscribing to DecoyNoise with the notifications on, so I can remind you every day at 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time to just sit back, relax, and judge some strangers online with me. So let's go ahead and get to the story right now. So OP writes, so according to my girlfriend and several of her friends of hers that apparently needed to be included in our personal affairs, this makes me a controlling jerk. Well, to give some background, I am not a huge social media user. I do have an account on one site, but I rarely use it, and it's more to keep track of distant relatives and old friends on. And neither was my girlfriend for the most part. She did use it on and off. Well, in the past year, she has made an Instagram due to pressure of some of her friends. Well, she is very good looking, so it more or less kicked off, and she now has somewhere between the area of 20 to 30,000 followers. Well, it was good at the start, but a bit annoying. To be honest, she sort of got addicted. At first, she respected my choice not to be involved as well, but now she makes me take pictures, be in pictures, take pictures of me to put on her Instagram, etc. Well, essentially, all of our dates, moments together, and so forth are now the subject of a photo session, and it is honestly starting to make a large impact on our relationship, and it's turned into the primary subject of every argument we have. Well, that brings us to even more recently, because now she's starting to post more provocative stuff. I suppose we should call it, but I'm obviously not saying nude stuff, but it's like bikinis in focus of her butt. You know, that sort of thing. Now, while I'm not a big fan of her doing that, I do not consider it a huge issue. At the end of the day, everyone sees it when we go to the beach anyways. It is more or less yet another shovel of crap on the proverbial crap heap that is Instagram crap has become. However, on the off occasion I actually check her Instagram, the comments are just making me really angry. Primarily a bunch of horny dudes, you know, you get the drift. Thirsty guys. So yesterday I decided to be a bit blunt about it, and it's really given a strain on our relationship, and it went about as well as you could expect. We have not spoken since, aside from another argument, real fun given we live together and have to stay at home, so am I overreacting? So as always, to take the case, we bring it to Decoy Court where I give you my knee-jerk reaction. I'll read over some top comments, read over those controversial comments, read your comments down below, then we'll do that Decoy Deliberation where we figure out who the true antagonist is and what a theoretical punishment for said antagonist. So I'm about to go off into kind of my rationale in this situation because it's a little bit detached from this, but I always think that relationships are about priorities. So, you know, you start dating a girl, you'll see your friends less. If you get really into a video game, you start to neglect your girlfriend more. So it's always like a balancing act. So if I explicitly tell a girl that I'm seeing that, like, okay, we're going to be exclusive, my priority becomes their happiness and their comfort. Doesn't mean like my lizard brain doesn't suddenly not find attractive woman attractive. No, it just, that's how it is. It just means that I need to be a decent human being and think about the feelings of my significant other over the other needs of like my fleeting desires, like, you know, admiration, affection, and like attention from other girls. So I'll always say people treat you the way that you let them treat you, and it's a situation where if you let somebody steadily creep outside your comfort zone, they'll do it every time, because why not? You get all the benefits that you were having before, but none of the responsibilities of trying to adhere to somebody's, you know, comfort zone. And whenever someone sits there and tries to call you like controlling or insecure or you're being a psycho, don't park in front of my apartment anymore. Okay, not that last thing, but the two other things, like if you're saying, oh, you're being controlling, you're being insecure, those are those hot phrases that I always like to say, like, oh yeah, you can label somebody that thing, and then you can make them compliant with whatever your agenda is. And I always use that stupid like Harry Potter spell analogy, but it's like, you know, if the girl came to me and said, hey, I'm gonna go backstage VIP party with the Chris Brown concert with my 2 single friends that hooked up with his manager last time. Like, don't you trust me? If I like want to start saying, well, hey, I don't really know how I feel about that, they just, you know, hit me with like the insecure cell where I'm like, oh, I'm not an insecure incel, so oh, okay, you can do that. And it's just like, what? We just are 2 different people with competing levels of comfort. Doesn't mean one's wrong, one's right. Doesn't mean that you need to, like, you know, use some hot phrase label to make me kind of back off. It just means that, like, hey, it doesn't work out here. Like, there's no, hey, herder, hey, Tyler, you gonna let your girl post pictures on Instagram like that? It's just, no, it's, I don't allow anybody or don't allow anybody to do anything. It's not, it's like finding the right person that has values that align with my own. There's yeah, I'm not trying to change anybody. Like, you don't change someone to turn them into what you want them to be. The same way you don't want someone to try to change you into this weird ideal of a person that they have in their head. Like, you just stop, like, you know, we're not customizing partners. We're people that, like, find each other. And there's plenty of dudes that, like, you know, date and marry strippers and have no issue with that. There's plenty of dudes that will break up with girls for constantly posting thirst traps online. There's no right and wrong. You just move on. So I'm going to go ahead and say right here, there are no antagonists here. Not the guy, not the girl. It's just, they're at that breakup moment, but they just can't do it right now. She's not talking to him. He's not happy with her. If you're ever in a relationship where it's not a net positive, it's toast, it's done. If you're ever in a relationship where you have a problem with the boyfriend and you go back to all your friends to go harass him for being a problem, then, like, it's done. They're just victims of the state of the state of the world right now. So I wish them both the best. But as always, give me your feedback. Pause the video. Give me whatever I'm not thinking. If I'm short-sighted or if I, like, my ramblings are incorrect to you, let me know. Earn yourself that Decoy coin in the comment section. Take a brief break. We'll come back to those top comments. But I mean, that's just the way I see things. So I'm more than open to hearing that I'm wrong. But let's go ahead and read that top comment. So, not the antagonist. Being angry about somebody going on an app rather than being present with you in the moment is completely understandable. It sounds like she's using it too much. You start forming questions like, why does she want approval of a bunch of strangers so bad? If she's on her app rather than just enjoying our date together, does that mean she values the approval of strangers more than she values spending time with me? I have a rule where my husband and I don't look at our phones while we're on a date / going out to eat. The technology can really suck away the quality time. If someone's on their phone rather than being present, it's like rejection in itself. It hurts. So I like that this person and their significant other have come to an understanding about technology use, attention span, and that whole situation. But it's like me, as you can tell, I'm very hyperactive. I'm constantly overstimulated. I got all these screens around me, got the phone. If I'm watching Netflix, I'm playing video games. If I'm playing video games, I'm also, like, you know, listening to music in the background. It's like I said, my mind is like a beehive. There's just too much stuff going on. But that's like my level of like homeostasis, where I feel best after work, coming home, turning on Netflix, having the switch out, playing Animal Crossing, or being on the phone while something's uploading on the computer. Like, I like the hustle and bustle that's going on in my head. I just feel more productive. I feel like more at home with that. So it's, if me and this person right here, like this person that just posted this comment right now, they have a really good relationship with their significant other. But if I was dating them, I'd feel super confined to say, okay, yeah, cool, we're gonna have dinner, put your phone away, turn the TV off, no music, let's just talk about each other's day. I would feel incredibly uncomfortable, and my mind would be going like a million miles a minute. Like, the whole idea that some people talk about, like meditation, I probably could use it if anybody else, but just the idea where they say, breathe, don't think about anything, like, that would probably give me a panic attack, if anything. Like, just that idea. So just, you know, different people have different levels of what's okay. So it doesn't mean that this person's like, the OP's the antagonist, they're not the antagonist, she's the antagonist for me needing extra attention. I'm sure if you found two people that are Instagram obsessed, that love taking pictures together and love the attention they were getting from the opposite gender online, they could do it as a couple. They're ideal from each other. We're not all the same people. So it's like, there's somebody for everybody. I mean, there's a million people for everybody. It just doesn't happen to be OP. So that's fine. And OP comes back and says, that's pretty much it, I guess. I honestly don't mind it so much because she likes doing it, but at this point it's infringing on way too much of our private time and life. And here's the thing is, maybe he doesn't even mind so much. Like, it almost seemed like an afterthought of just seeing thirsty guys on his girlfriend's Instagram. It was just like, hey, look, you're not present to the moment. We're not enjoying each other right now at all. Like, this seems like a whole terrible mess right now. So it's just, yeah, they're just incompatible. But let's go ahead and read another top reply. Not the antagonist. I mean, she can't do anything she likes, but she's pressuring you to be involved too, knowing that you'd rather not, and impinging on your personal life. Probably infringing on your personal life, what they're trying to say? Okay, so you don't have to be consent to that, but it does sound like the end of your relationship. Sorry. And that's what it comes down to, is like, I'm sorry that this happened to you. This is a situation where it's just unfortunate. You guys can't get away from each other. And it'll be very difficult to, like, break up and move out at this point in time. So it's just like, hey man, you're in a crappy situation. Doesn't mean that anybody in the comment section needs to pile on OP, pile on the girlfriend, say anybody's a terrible person. It's just, hey, you guys are just kind of not working out right now. And here's the thing is, the OP came back and said, hey, can and should are considerably different things when you're in a relationship. And here's the thing is, like, yeah, can and should she cater to his needs more? Like I was saying originally, the idea that it's like, oh, it's about priorities and, you know, what you're willing and not willing to do, but incompatibility is a real thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. Now, if he's gonna sit here and try to keep on pressuring on her, change, you need to do that, your friends are stupid, listen to me, then you're being controlling, then you're being insecure, then you're doing all those things they're calling you. But I mean, if you can just see it for what it is and being like, okay, I can walk away from this situation, nothing needs to, like, you know, nobody needs to compromise that much on who their true identity is, because let's be honest, if her true identity is a social media mogul and she's gonna be this big influencer, cool, maybe she'll be more wealthy and well off of that or whatever. That's fine, you know. We stop judging each other for what we want to be. So let's go ahead and read the next top reply, which is, not the antagonist. I've had a friend like that. It feels like an invasion of privacy and makes you feel like a prop when all your hangouts are just excuses for Instagram stories. And, you know, I've been guilty of that, where it's like the whole situation, like, oh, let's go do it for the gram or whatever. It's like, yeah, this thing seems cool, that thing seems cool, but this thing actually has a lot more like a photo op potential. So let's go ahead and do that, because you just want to feel like you're having a good time, you have fun. Like, you know, I use Instagram as a way that I feel like it's a scrapbook of my life, where I can scroll back through time, see my nephews and nieces grow up, see all the different hobbies and things I've had, see my hairstyles change, see my weight change, see, like, you know, how I spent my time, and, like, you know, different friends coming in and out of life. Like, I like it for that right there. But I know some people that are very, very what is it? They're not Ron Burgundy. They're not the guy from 30. They're not 30. I'm getting all mixed up. They're not the guy from Parks and Recreation, where he just wants to be entirely off the radar. They're just people that don't want their business out there. So, like, what's comfortable for me, like, oh, I like having the scrapbook, is not comfortable for others that want to be more secretive and private. And then what's comfortable for me is not the same level as, like, some of my Instagram obsessed friends, where literally every day they have to post something, where it's like, you know, they get anxiety if they don't. So doesn't mean anybody's right or wrong. But let's go ahead and read one more top reply, which is, I need more information. What exactly did you say? Which is also true, that they probably need some more information to see if he was too harsh or not. But OP says pretty much what I said in the post, that I was becoming an obsession, that this was becoming an obsession, seeping into every aspect of our relationship. But that I felt I go out with her and a bunch of other people instead of just her, that private moments shouldn't always be broadcasted, that I'm uncomfortable having a heap of people know how I look through her account, and that I was not happy that her new follower growth seemed to be primarily thirsty weirdos that are wanting her, and then that in turn weirds me out. Which is true. It's like, you know, a lot of people would find that as of, like, you know, you being insecure, like, why can't you just let her be, like, you know, how she is? It's like, okay, yeah, maybe being insecure, but if that's not within his comfort zone, there's nothing wrong with him expressing the fact that that's not within his comfort zone. Saying, like, you know, yes, that would be kind of bizarre to have a whole bunch of dudes posting graphic replies to your girlfriend on a post that's 3 posts down from a picture of you two at the beach. I don't know, it'd make me feel uncomfortable if a guy was like, if I was dating a girl and he was thinking graphic ways on how he wanted her. Like, to a lot of people, I guess that would be okay, but to me, that'd make me uncomfortable. Does that make me a bad person? No. Does that make the girl a bad person? No. So let's go ahead and go to those controversial replies, because the top replies are kind of just being like, you know, the echo chamber that is what I'm thinking is rational thought, but then again, maybe we're wrong. So let's go ahead and read the next top post, or controversial post, which is, no antagonist here. You're allowed to be bothered by it. She's allowed to do it. Perhaps it's time to go separate ways, which is kind of the idea that I thought was a situation. Let's see this next reply to that post. No, OP's girlfriend is the antagonist for seemingly never letting them enjoy the time they spend together. There's always Instagram in the way of that, and she's always taking pictures of it. And here's the thing is, like, just because they have a difference of opinion doesn't mean that she's the antagonist. She's a bad person because she doesn't agree with every value that he has. Maybe there's something that he doesn't see. I know around the 10K mark, other YouTubers talk about when sponsors start reaching out to them saying, hey, will you advertise this post? And maybe he just doesn't see the other facet of it, that is, the girlfriend, once she hit 10K, people said, hey, we'll give you $5,000 to post something about, you know, a slim fit tee. And if you make it to 25K followers and they're primarily male demographic that are engaged at this percentage or whatever, we'll give you 20 grand per post. And that could be a real thing for them. Doesn't mean they're a bad person, but just means that OP doesn't understand the many, many facets that comes along with being an Instagram influencer. He just sees it as like, oh, there's butt pictures, but she sees it as, if I post a picture of breakfast, I get 10 new followers. Post a new picture of my butt, I get 100 new followers. So it's a business situation. Not saying, like, I mean, I'm doing a bit of a reach right now, but I'm just trying to see everything from any potential perspective that could be where she's not the antagonist. This person's just jumping on that torch and pitchfork bandwagon that is like, get her, there she is, the same way that her friends are trying to do, like, get her, there he is. And it's like, okay, so once we villainize each other, there's no more communication. That's not what DecoyNoise is about. DecoyNoise is supposed to be about a podcast about wasting time, but now DecoyNoise is about fairness on the internet and trying to get along with each other better. But let's go ahead and read the next controversial reply. So, not the antagonist. She has every right to use Instagram that way. You have every right. Wait. Oh, this is almost the same post again. You have every right to be upset with how it's affecting your relationship. Sit down, talk about it, compromise if you can, break up if you have to. Good luck. And honestly, that's one of those situations where it's like, I read the post and try to give my honest opinion in my head, and I don't want to read the replies in the comment section. I don't read the replies and just say, oh, that's what I think too. Haha, see how right I am or whatever. No. Most of the time, if not some of the time, I'm disagreeing with the top comments, the controversial comments. It's sad that the controversial section is the place that seems to be the most pro Decoy on the idea of what's really going on. So, I mean, maybe I'll get blasted in the comment section, but, you know, I got thick skin. Say whatever you want about me. I don't really care. So let's go ahead and read the next top reply. So this guy says, short-time lurker, first-time commenter here. I want to go with the not the antagonist verdict. A few years ago, I was in a similar position in a relationship. She became a social media focused, and I wasn't, and it put a huge strain on our relationship. Spoilers, it didn't end well. Her friends used to ask if she was even in a relationship because I never posted anything. With hindsight being 2020, I see now that I couldn't be controlling, and I wanted her to change to suit my lifestyle. There were times, admittedly, where I tried to change her, and she couldn't expect me to change to suit hers. We failed to find a common ground. It is understandable to want your significant other to be a part of your life. She's allowed to want to show you off and want you to be involved, and you're allowed to not want to be involved and stay private. That's why I say no antagonist here. I hope you guys can find a compromise and common ground. And here's the big thing. It's like, let's say this poster right here got super controlling and super angry and was super a jerk to her, and that whole thing happened. It's like, okay, cool. As long as he can sit here after the situation, nothing really went too wrong with his previous relationship. If he can admit to his problems, he went through something wrong, became a better person, can identify that he was a lesser person back there, and he won't do it again. That seems like a net positive. Even if OP right now is being the worst person, trying to be controlling and being really angry and like shouting her down, if at the end of it he learns the right thing and says, okay, look, I'm sorry, I let my emotions get the head of me, I'm only human, I'm a better person now, I think that's a net success. You can't expect everybody to be perfect in every situation. It's just like, we learn, we take in information, we share information. Like the whole, like, you know, pitchfork and torch situation that comes on Am I the Antagonist so much is a little bit disconcerting for me, because I feel like once they say, hey, you did something wrong, now it's over. Like that one time in the story where the kid was telling a story about them not liking their new adopted sister. It's like, oh, she's this age, she should know better, and everybody's being all mean to her. Let's make sure this post stays up forever. And it's like, no, dude, people should have time to learn, grow, and develop. On the other end of that, if they don't learn their lesson, they continue to do that, then they're the bad person. But if they're learning the right thing, let's cut some slack. Everybody gets emotional sometimes, so I'm gonna go ahead and say, sticking with my no antagonist here. They're in a rough situation, but like always, earn yourself that Decoy coin by giving me some feedback, letting me know how to make the channel better, or just, you know, something I'm not thinking about in this particular topic. But if nothing else, I want to say I appreciate you guys spending this time with me, watching the entire video, subscribing down below with the notifications on, because I do hear that people don't see me in their feed anymore. It's only if they have the notifications on. Go to DecoyNoise.com to give me your feedback, or also post your own stories, so maybe I can do a video about just Decoy Coy, Am I the Antagonist posts. But if nothing else, put this on autoplay and watch the next Decoy Noise coming up next.